Hi, I'm Natalie and this is a short video for APCAM on talking to your child about Covid-19 or coronavirus. There's already a lot of information out there now about how we can talk to our children. So I'm going to summarise what I think has been the most useful. So I'm going to talk about keeping our own emotions in check, how we can be honest but to be appropriate with our children, and how we can give them some reassurance. So it is important that we keep our own emotions in check and we demonstrate methods of self-care. But if we are worried about coronavirus ourselves, it's important that we address that. I'm going to give you a quote here from Brené Brown's book, Rising Strong. If you haven't come across Brené Brown before, I do recommend her. She says, "When our children sense something is wrong, or when they know something is wrong, they quickly jump to filling in the missing pieces of the story. And because our well-being is directly tied to their sense of safety, fear sets in and often dictates the story. Emotions are contagious, and when we're stressed or anxious or afraid, our children can be quickly engulfed in the same emotions." Now, I think that really applies to the situation now. So do check on your own emotions before you speak to your child. Now, when it comes to talking to children, it's really useful and really important to be honest and let them ask questions and answer them as honestly as you can. And otherwise, we do risk them filling in the gaps with their own imagination, or they might go and look for the information themselves. So be honest, and perhaps you could do a fact-finding investigation together. Using appropriate material. But if you have got very anxious children at home or younger children, be mindful of how much news you are watching or listening to around your children, and try and keep it to a minimum if you can. So keeping it appropriate, I think this is what most parents worry about. And it is important that we are mindful of their age and their development. So for young children, we don't necessarily want to go into all the details about death rates and the science behind the virus. There is a really good resource on the website MindHeart, which I'll send the link to, which has a really lovely visual description of the virus and what's happening globally, and that's good for younger children and SEND children as well. For older children and teenagers, there's some really good information about COVID-19 on Newsround's website and on Young Minds website too. And Young Minds have a lot of information for young people on how to look after their own mental health and dealing with anxiety during this time. So lastly, giving reassurance. It's really important that we reassure our children and be calm. And what we might want to do is demonstrate and show them how we are protecting ourselves and others from the virus. For example, washing our hands, why we are socially distancing, etc. And you might want to put a more positive spin on it and think of ways as a family that you can support others. So it might be putting a rainbow picture on your window, or it might be just helping your neighbours. Give your children the opportunity to think positively about the lockdown. So finally, just to say, there is a lot of information. I think one of the best websites I've seen for parents is Young Minds, and they've got a list of the top 10 tips for talking to your children. So I do urge you to have a look at that as well. So just to recap then, it's really important that we look after our own emotions when talking to our children, keep it honest, keep it appropriate, and reassure them with lots of positivity. Again, if you need more information or want to discuss this further, just get in touch. All right, thank you very much.